Good morning, and welcome to the last week for us of
The last week of the Nudelberg Daily Huddle for 2023. How about that? We're here.
Great to have you back. It was great to have Friday off. I will tell you that. That was super cool. Although I spent the day. Big shout out to Shay. Shay helped me move things out of storage into Helen's house, so it is real.
Nice. Getting closer. Did you throw anything away is the question.
Yeah, we've been throwing tons of stuff away. I mean, it is, things that you collect at a certain time in your life later on just don't mean anything, So
Right.
it was great to throw away. It was great to move in, but my back still hurts. I'm just too old for this shit. Like Helen was like, "Why don't you just pay someone to do it?"
Speaking of being sore, I did Pilates for the first time in my life. I did 2 days of Pilates, and I didn't just do any kind of Pilates. I did it with this guy, Or. Or is a former Israeli military leader and former So You Think You Can Dance Israel winner. And he led the Pilates class. I was crippled for 2 days. Like yesterday on the plane, I could barely move. And today, like when I was working out, it felt like my core was just going to rip off my ribs. It's unbelievable. But my first experience with Pilates, and it was a blast. I would do it again. It was a very hard workout.
Nice.
Well,
So
I
you had
can
a great.
Jake killed us this weekend.
Oh,
I could barely walk yesterday.
Jake wrote a workout on Saturday that was basically 8 minutes and then off 8 minutes and then off in a series of stuff within that 8 minutes without a break. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
So you were away. Why don't you share with us why you were away and what you did and how special it was?
Yeah, it was twofold. So the reason we left, we were in Santa Barbara for the weekend because it was Gabby's company's holiday party / 25th anniversary, which was a very cool celebration for their company. We decided to extend it a little bit earlier so that we could have a little mom and dad time. And so it was great just getting to reconnect with Gabby and just being able to enjoy time, just the two of us. I had never been to Santa Barbara. The food, the views, the people were just phenomenal. Maybe my favorite place in California now because it was so fantastic. It was the speed. It's a beach town, but it's like a really nice beach town. And there were tons of wine tasting rooms and breweries, and the quality of food was just, it didn't matter where we went. Every single restaurant was so good. So it was a really great time, and just getting to spend time with just my wife. I don't think there's anything better than that. So
your post this morning, celebrating her and honoring her was really, really spot on, man. Great job. Really.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's always the opposite, right? Like we live here, and so all of the events are always centered around our work and what we do and the people we work with. I never get to do it inversely and be her wingman at an event. And it was a blast. It was super cool to see the way the people in her organization look at her, respect her, talk about her, and to get to be her wingman for the night was just an awesome experience.
Kudos to you. Lori, big event season. So I know you're running all over the place.
Yes, we are. Had a few events during the week, the Magnolia Luncheon. I mean, it's been going on and on and on. But of course, the big event of the season is the Winterfest Ball. So that is from Saturday night. And then Sunday, Christmas with Santa, breakfast at the Yacht Club, which they had like 12 trees. It was just done so beautifully. So kind of put us in the spirit.
Nice.
That's awesome.
For me, the weekend started Thursday night. I don't do this often, but we put a group of guys together who were looking for sort of camaraderie. You are the sum of the people you hang out with. And so did runway with a group that it was so much fun. We've actually agreed to do it and scheduled February. So we're going to do it once a quarter. And the conversation was brisk and intelligent and fun and just great. And then Saturday night, got to spend time with Juan and Maria Ortiz. Maria is the president of Aflac. And I have done business with her husband for like 100 years. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago I realized that his wife was at Aflac. So it was crazy. And then yesterday was just me and my lady. We got up and we walked. And anybody who is not reveling in the weather that we have here, you're missing the boat. This is what it is all about. It was cool. It was breezy. Tonight we have Monday Night Football here, which will be incredible. Miami Dolphins. You know, Jake said to me this morning in our workout, in his adult life, he's never been to a Dolphin Monday night game.
Wow.
Wow. You know, the Dolphins really weren't relevant. They weren't on Monday Night Football. So tonight should be a doozy, should be fun. I think, Mark, you said it's 63 degrees at game time.
That's right.
That's great. Oh,
Should
I
be
love it.
absolutely beautiful. Just a gorgeous Monday night for football in South Florida, and an opportunity to, you know, put yourself at the top of the AFC.
Tomorrow's huddle is going to be a doozy. We'll all be out. Shay, wake this thing up. We got lots to talk about.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking, time to thinking ahead. Come on.
So this show is not political. We don't really take sides, but it's such a relevant topic. We have to bring it up because, Mark, you're the leader of our organization. Lori, you're the leader of your organization. I am the leader of myself, which is kind of interesting. But the university, the University of Penn president resigned over the weekend. And what I guess the question I want to go to is not the topic, because I think people are really polarizing the topic, but should the leader of a company come out and make
Well, I think you have to give context, right? So we
Okay,
can't
good.
talk about what happened without giving context. Look, they got put on the stand, right? 3 different presidents of high academic institutions,
Harvard, MIT, and Penn.
Ivy League institutions, right? Like the standard of the standard when it comes to the academic world. And they had legal counsel, right? They didn't just walk up there, right? They were coached and they were educated on how they were supposed to respond to the questions that were given to them. Then those responses came with a ton of backlash from the public and from the media, regardless of what you think. That's just the reality of what happened. There was a ton of backlash that came from it, which then forced her to resign from her position as president.
Well, she didn't have to resign.
Or she was going to get fired if she didn't, right? Like, I mean, my assumption would be that they gave her the option to step away because action had to be taken. But what I think is interesting is that there comes a time, I think, in everybody's life where you have to decide. Are you going to do what you know you think is right, or what you feel you think is right, or are you going to listen to what everybody else tells you to do? And either way, she ends up out of the position.
Yeah.
But she ends up out of the position doing what she was coached and told to do from the organization and from the stance of the committee and everybody else. And I think it's a shame that it has to happen that way.
Lori, your thoughts are really relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, listen, these are really tough issues and topics. You can't win no matter what side you're on, right? I mean, really, they're so political that no matter what you do in these types of positions with these kinds of issues, I just feel like it's a no-win either way for the presidents and the leaders of these organizations. So
Agreed. I would say she was in a no-win situation.
Well,
Yeah.
wait. So if you could go back and replay it, what would you have her say? I think it's easier. She just have to say we don't condone any genocide.
Correct. Absolutely.
And it's
I mean, I think the question specifically was, is it against student code of conduct to cry for the genocide of any particular race? And
I
the
think
answer should absolutely be yes,
Right.
right? Like,
you know,
I didn't hear how the question was asked, whether it was asked specifically or not.
it was pretty
But listen,
specific.
it was specific to
It was pretty
anti-Semitism,
specific.
right? So, but if she was coached well by a politician instead of a lawyer, she would have answered that question in a very different way, because
Sure.
politicians never answer a question.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, I think you're right.
It's
So
true.
it's interesting because Harvard, there's a lot of people petitioning that Harvard's president does not get fired because of this, but they're all going to have to step down. I mean, there's just when, and here's, I'll take it here and then we'll move on. But when one of the donors said, I'm pulling my $100 million.
Yeah.
The rest of
Bye.
the people go,
Right.
I'm having you.
Right.
See you. Right.
Which to me is, it just speaks to, like, I don't understand how you botch this so
Yeah, me
bad.
neither.
I don't understand how the legal counsel could be that far off and not give them better recommendations, how they couldn't be better prepared, how the school isn't in alignment with what should be the message that comes out of that. Like, it's just mind-blowing to me that they could have fucked this up so badly. Like, it's mind blowing.
There's a lesson here, a big lesson. Regardless of who's coaching you, you got to have your own moral compass, man. You got to be.
do what
You're a smart person. You are the president of Penn. You didn't get there by being an idiot. What came out of your mouth, you control.
Yep.
What comes in and what goes out, you control, regardless of what the legal counsel was. Regardless, you need, and had she had a moral compass that just said, I can't condone any kind of genocide. Boom.
Yeah, but instead she said that it was context dependent.
Yeah.
Right.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Not a good answer.
Yeah,
No.
not a good answer, right.
Horrendous.
Well,
Horrendous.
it left it to think that she was condoning it when you
Correct.
could have just shut it down. Anyway, the world is hypersensitive. Everybody's up in arms about this. So at the end of the day, think. You just got to think.
Yeah, and I think you got to be willing to stand on your own 2 feet, right? Do what
Yes,
you
I
think is
agree.
right. Do
if you're
what
going to
you
get
think is
fired for
right.
saying the wrong thing, you might as well get fired
For saying whatever you think, whatever you thought. At least you went out on your own accord then.
I don't even want to be in any of these conversations, quite honestly.
Scary. Well, you
Really,
most
whether
relevant,
it's about,
because you report to a board, and if the board went to a vote over something you said in public, that's challenging, man. It's tough, man. It's really interesting.
we have employees across all of these different rate demographics, so it's hard.
We have great motivational music. We'll go to that. And then, Mark, you were just on a plane. All of us have been on a plane in recent time. I have a list of unwritten rules on an airplane that I think is a great way to kick off Monday. So, Jay, rock this world, baby. Give it to us.
It's the world's greatest job. It's the world's greatest. Come on. The world's greatest. I am a mountain. I am a tall tree. Oh, I am a swift wind sweeping the country. I am a river down in the valley. Oh, I am a vision. And I can see clearly. If anybody asks you who I am, just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest. And I'm that little bit of hope. When my back's against the ropes, I can feel it. I'm the world's greatest.
Words
so
are great. Words are great. So you were on a plane, and I was on a plane a lot, and there are unwritten rules, I think, So I have a list of them, and please chime in. But to me, the first one is about the middle seat. If you get the middle seat, who gets the armrest? I mean,
They say that it goes to the middle seat passenger gets the armrest. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I
they
think it's
say the
jockey
people in the middle get the armrest.
Listen, I think it's whoever gets there first.
I think it's how much you're willing to battle for it, right?
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna
throwing
go
my
ahead and
arm
put
out
my
there,
elbows
man.
there, and I got no problem sliding my elbow in there, letting you know, hey, I'm gonna be here for the rest of the flight. So we're gonna figure out who's got more stamina here. Like,
When I travel with Mike, I end up in the middle because I want to sit next to him, right?
Game of
I
zone.
put my elbows right on those armrests. With him, I share. The other side, I don't share.
Jonathan
So
Aarons comes in with a golden rule: keep your damn shoes on.
Yeah, like what
So
what fucking planet did you grow up on?
Gabby
That
was
you can
sitting
take your shoes off in public, man.
on the flight from Denver home yesterday. Gabby was in the middle seat and I was in the window seat. And the guy comes and sits on the aisle seat and he sits down and he gets situated and he immediately reaches down and he starts undoing his laces. And I was like, look, you can loosen your shoes, but if those shoes come off, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah. Oh,
You loosen them up, do whatever you
And
need to do to
listen,
get comfortable,
listen,
but keep them on your feet.
I think in general, people have really poor hygiene.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't.
you rip the socks off and you got nasty feet, man. It's a game changer.
Here's a rule that I think United did a good job of changing the way they board so that this isn't necessarily a problem. But if you are in zone 3 or later, stop standing at the very front of the loading zone when they start boarding. Everybody then has to walk around you to get in line, and you're not boarding for like another 45 minutes. So get
Right.
out of the way. United does a great job of actually creating different areas to where they do pre-boarding and they do premiere and all of like the people who have status early. And then they've got 2 different lines for zone 1 and zone 2. So, and they're on separate ends. So like it's impossible for people to be getting in the way when they're not supposed to be.
I think the airlines are onto all these things. Like even the
Right.
one where you put your suitcase in. You're in the last row of the plane, but you put your suitcase in.
So that's the next one. That the unwritten rule is you can't put it in the front, man. You can't put it over my seat.
But the stewards, whatever they call the
What is
flight
that?
attendants now they're catching on to that and they're making you move.
What is
So
that?
for the people that are watching, right, United does a really good job, I think, of communicating through text as you go through the entire process. Like, hey, it's time to check in, and hey, here's the update on your flight, and hey, it's time to board. So if people can see what I'm showing, they're communicating in GIFs now, and they'll send you a GIF when you start boarding of how they expect you to load your carry-on bag. So they're showing you they don't want it to lay flat, that they want it to lay up on its side, and it's a GIF that plays back and forth of how you should load your bags. I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
While you're
what an
doing that,
unbelievable way to
Bob
communicate.
Goldfarb has the winner of the day. No farting, man, because everybody knows, man. It's like,
Right.
oh shit, what
Right.
is that, man? Okay, so people who sit on the window, they have control of the slide
Correct.
up.
You get to
seats,
decide. You get
Okay.
to decide. Window seat gets to decide whether or not it's window up or down.
Okay, Windows. So that's an unwritten rule or a rule. Can you ask? Can you lean over and say, "Hey, can you pop that up?"
You
know, 'cause-
definitely can ask, but they have they're not obligated to listen to you. Right.
Okay.
Like if I have a preference that I want it
This
open,
one's
it's
a
open.
doozy. This one's a doozy. The seat has a recline button, which means it's meant to recline.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
Some people are offended if you
When you recline, it
recline
happened to me
and they
yesterday.
bash the seat, man. They're having a fucking punching bag. I'm like,
The guy
dude.
behind me let out like a sigh, like, oh.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Like, I got on a 5 a.m. flight from Santa Barbara this morning. Cut me a break, dude. I'm reclining the seat as we fly the last leg of this flight.
So, alcohol. Okay, so I have recently stopped drinking on a plane because it doesn't make me feel good.
Yep.
It is really, really makes me actually nauseous. But somebody who drinks a lot, do you have the right to say to them, "Yo, dude, pump the brakes. We're not,
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Or,
not
or
what I'm
like,
going to the electric. Yeah.
or like, give a little signal to the flight attendant, like maybe cut this person off. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
not
because they get
already.
crazy.
Yes.
I don't know that I would say anything to them
It's
directly.
the
I don't.
quickest way that plane rides go bad.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think
number one indicator that something bad is going to happen on the
Yeah,
plane.
but I think that's the job of the flight attendants. I don't feel like it's my job. I don't need to get in a fist fight with somebody because I told them to stop drinking. Let the flight attendant handle it.
Okay.
That's
How
not
about
one.
this one? How about this one? I pay for the upgraded seats. Either I'm in first class or I'm in some kind of comfort.
Yeah.
And there's an empty seat, and some schmo comes walking up and just tries to sit down. What's your feeling on people switching seats?
I'm all right with the switching of the seats. I don't know. They're always like, for some reason, there's like a weight balance, which I don't really buy. Like there's tons of bags underneath the plane. You got no control over where that seat goes. This person who weighs 175 pounds is going to throw off the whole plane because they're in the back and all three in one row. Like, I don't really get that,
Yeah,
but I'm all good with it.
What bothers me more about that one is that I paid for that upgrade. And they're just hopping in it because they didn't pay for it.
Yeah, but it's like hitting the lottery for them.
That's what I say. Bullshit, man.
Bullshit.
Pay the fucking freight. Pay the freight like everybody
it's like
else.
hitting the lottery.
Okay.
I mean, if it was full, they wouldn't get it. It's not full, so they get a little bonus.
This one makes me crack up. When the airlines and everything opened up again after the pandemic, Helen and I flew to Atlanta, and when we got on the plane, the guy next to us was like in a hazmat suit. I mean, it was like literally covered head to toe. I'm not lying. So now, you don't really see that often, but there are still people who.
No, there are. There's lots of people with the mask on, and like
the mask and the whole.
Some lady had like an eye goggle mask on the plane, and like I really, really fight my own inner dialogue because you don't know what people's situations are. They could have like an immune disease, and they could be extra susceptible to something. So I really fight my own inner dialogue on that. But my first thought is always like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay. So then the last one, and then we'll close this up because we're out of time. When the plane lands, right, and it's going to take a few minutes for the door to open and for you to get out. Not everybody needs to get up and get in the aisle and throw their bags in there. Like some guy just basically brutalized Helen, man.
It's unbelievable.
I go, where are you going, man?
It's unbelievable, right? Especially like it's one thing if like you're in the very first seat of the plane. Like if you're in first class, first row, like yeah, you're up and you're out and you're getting your stuff. But like, so we happened to be in first class on our way out there in the first seat, right? But when we got on the plane, there was no space above our seat. I had to put my bag like 3 rows back. So I stood up, right? And I went to like walk back to get my bag. And the guy in the second seat stood up in front of me and like wouldn't move. And I was like, dude, we're not getting off the plane unless I get my bag. So like, I don't know what the problem is, but you're going to have to let me through. And he was like real put out about it that he had to let me through. It was unbelievable.
Like that minute, I mean, Jonathan Aarons comes up with the classic again. It's like
right?
under the front of the plane. It's like I have a connector, and my shit's more important than you.
It's
Anyway,
unbelievable.
The overriding thing is do not be a jerk.
Right.
That's just be nice.
Be courteous, right? Be conscious and be courteous. That would be a great way to create a great plane ride for everybody.
So welcome to Monday. Welcome to Monday. Right. As we said, this is our last week. We go through Thursday. Friday will be another review or one of the old Huddler in the hot seats. We will vote on Thursday who the Huddler in the hot seat of the year is. We will also talk about on Thursday. We will talk about your personal word of the year. So we'll go through all of that tomorrow, folks. There is a new report out, the 2023-2024 top sales report, and so the trends. So you guys up for doing that tomorrow?
Absolutely. Yeah. And do not forget that in January, there is the kickoff event for obviously all of the On the Ball clients, but it is open to anybody who wants to be a part of it. the 3 things you need to focus on to get more in 24, and how to make sure that you are unfuckwithable, which was my word for the year this year. And I'm telling you what, might not change. Might be my word next year too.
I'm super psyched about that event. We have, a big roster of people who are already attending, but let's get after it. Go. I'll be rooting for the Finns tonight. Should be a fun
I would
night.
hope so. You're going to be at the
See
game.
everybody there, and we'll see you in the morning.
Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to